G'day Barb, how are you today?
Oh, hi Di, what are you doing here?
Well, I thought we'd come out and talk about how animals and how they help with recovery today.
Oh, fantastic, that's a really good opportunity.
So firstly, what's one thing you want people to know about you?
Well, obviously, I find a lot of value in horses, and I've had horses in my life since I was born, and I think probably most of what I learnt from horses I learnt from my mum.
You're a special type of social worker. What is equine assisted social work?
Yes. Equine assisted social work combines equine assisted learning with social work. So if I break that down very briefly, equine assisted learning requires the practitioner to be qualified. So I am certified in the equine assisted learning components, and it involves groundwork. So we don't include riding, but we do lots of different activities with the horses on the ground, such as grooming and leading and walking, and connecting with the horse, and rubbing a horse like I'm doing with my girl Pangari here. So it gives people an opportunity to relax because they're out in nature. It's very different to sitting inside a clinical therapy space. And when our brains are relaxed, we learn more easily. So it's good from that perspective.
So how can working with a horse help with physical recovery?
Yeah, so working with the horse can help with walking, obviously, if it's safe to do so. And walking alongside a horse can be motivational to get people walking and get people exercising. It's also been reported by other participants that using an impaired hand to rub a horse, groom a horse, lead a horse helps with just their therapy they need to do with their hands to get more movement and sensation. Work gets a bit more built in because we'll talk about the experience people have had with the horses. It helps with emotional and psychosocial, so things like connecting first of all with the horse, and then we might talk about connections with other people in a stroke survivor's life. Also, it helps with, I can work with people with anxiety and mood, particularly where people might have mood dysfunction after stroke or high levels of anxiety. I find, I'll come out and work with the horses and I might have a reasonably high level of anxiety to start with, and by the end of the time when I go home I'm quite calm and relaxed, and that's what a lot of the participants have found as well, and that's something that I valued after my stroke and I'm keen to share.
So who can access equine assisted services?
Well, anyone can, maybe not your toddlers, but if the service, like mine does, we've got a couple of very small ponies. If they've got small ponies, then really sort of primary school aged kids could access equine assisted therapy, or adults of any age, and adolescents, of course.
So you had a stroke in 2004. How did riding horses help you personally?
Yeah, I think I was really lucky in that I had all the benefits of having access to a horse after my stroke. And it's very experiential. The equine assisted learning component's experiential, and so was my rehabilitation. So doing things with horses, whether it was riding or whether it was on the ground, has helped me substantially with things like balance. Obviously, in riding you need balance, but also walking, with my mood, my anxiety, all of those sorts of things it's been really helpful with.
So do you have any other top pieces of advice for other people facing life after a stroke?
I do. People that know my personality won't be surprised by this, but I would say don't take no for an answer from anyone. Question what you're told and then weigh it up according to what you want to achieve in your recovery and your rehab. And I don't so much ask why did something happen, but I prefer to ask why not. In other words, why not? Can't I do what I want to achieve? And I think that's just really important, asking why not. And sometimes it's about knowing what you want as your big goals and then breaking them down into smaller goals so you can achieve them, but I found it's also so you can convince others that it's worth having a go at what you want to achieve. And obviously, you know, setting up a business for people like my stroke peers and equine assisted therapy it's not easy. It's very hard, and you do have to take a step back and do things step by step. But I also know what the benefit can be, and that's what I'm trying to do.